Hello YouTube, 87 Ricer here. So, I have a fun little story to tell you about, a funny story to tell you, in fact. So, I'm going to start off with the funny story, alright? So, it's been about give or take about 10 years ago, maybe. Easily 10 years. I'm getting ready to go up a big, massive hill and watch the rocket decline in speed. I can literally Flintstone it. But I totally expect it. With just me on this bike, without a passenger, I can get up this hill. It's still very slow, but it's doable. Yeah, like I said, with just me, it's doable. So anyways, it's been a while since the event actually happened. So do you all remember those videos when people would open up their driver's side or passenger side car or whatever and walk alongside the vehicle while doing a dance and then get back in their vehicle? Well, you know, I thought it was pretty stupid at the time, which it is. I mean, it made for great entertainment, but it was also, you know, a stupid idea. So, where I'm going with this is, there's a nice red car over there. I know that car was in the video for Revival Works, at least in the introduction. But anyways, I love Transformers. I love the movie Transformers. I'm a big fan of them. I'm a big fan of the series, of the Michael Bay series, and the last few movies that didn't have Michael Bay directing. I love all of them, regardless. And anyways, at the time, I had my rusted out Neon that I was, you know, I rusted out my old 98 Neon. I was going with a rat rod style vibe for the car. So anyways, I'm out on a back country road with just nothing but open fields and nobody around. And anyways, on that open field, out in that open field, I decided, as I was driving out there, I was going to make a video like that, where I step out of my vehicle, except for I wasn't going to do a little dance, okay? I wasn't going to do a dance. I was just going to step outside the vehicle. I was going to run and get out in front of the vehicle, and as my vehicle creeps right on by me, or drives slowly right by me, I was going to film it going by me, and then I was going to get right back into the car after that. So I was going to get out, run just enough out in front of it to record it going right by me, and then get back into the car, because, you know, I love Transformers, and I wanted to make it seem like, you know, it was a Transformer driving by itself. And anyway, the vision in my head looked so perfect. It looked so perfect. So I'm out there, I parked the car, I'm visioning what's gonna happen, and I put the car into gear, and it starts to creep forward. And at this time, I'm doing about, you know, 5 miles an hour. maybe 6 miles an hour, but I'm going slow. And so my idea is I'm going to go slow enough. I'm going to go slow enough that I'm going to go slow enough that I can get out and do what I was going to visually do. So it's going. It's picking up to about 5 miles an hour. And then I think it goes to about 6. And I open up my door. And like I said, in my mind, it worked out perfectly. But the moment that I stepped out of the car, my ass hit the ground. And I realized I fucked up. I mean, I realized I fucked up at that point. So I literally picked myself up as best as I could as my car is creeping away. And of course, as I'm trying to get up, I stumble again. All while I got my phone in my hand, because I had already started recording the moment I got ready to open up the door. And that actually, you know, so I had my phone in my hand the whole time, and I'm bouncing off the road, you know, trying to pick myself up, seeing my car get away from me at the same time, and it's slowly creeping to the left. It's veering to the left. Now, like I said, there's nothing but cornfields in the area, so I knew it wasn't going to hit anything. And sure enough, it gets too far ahead of me, and I'm like running as best that I can while limping, and my car stops, and it runs off of a culvert type thing, going from one field to another field. And my car's kind of teeter-tottering. The car's teeter-tottering. So one side's, you know, hanging in the air, the other half is up in the air. It's just tilting there. And I get in the car, and of course I'm like, oh shit, you know, fuck, why did I do that? You know, all I was doing is cussing myself out. I'm like, fuck, shit, why did I do that? I'm stupid, why did I do that? And, you know, at that point, my phone was sitting in the passenger seat. I thought, well, if I get a run at it, I can get just enough speed to enough momentum forward that I can drive right out of the field. Well, it was about, I don't know, the height of where the car was sitting. I probably just should have backed up instead of jumping it forward, but I didn't back up. I jumped it forward, and the moment it landed in the ground, on the ground, it was high centered. So I'm stuck. I'm not going anywhere, and I'm still cussing myself out. All the while, you know, I'm trying to figure out how am I going to get out of this situation, and I shouldn't have never done that. And I realized I got to start calling somebody. But where I'm at, there's no service for anything, and I'm miles away from home. And it was on a Sunday because my kids and my wife was at Sunday church, and my kids were doing a play, and I was out toying around in my car trying to make a cool video that turned out like crap, and I busted my ass in the process. So I'm in a sticky situation. So I walk up the road a ways because I kind of know the area that I'm in. I walk up the road a ways. I walk down a road that I know, and I see a vehicle in a driveway, and I see a tractor in the barn. And I'm like, well, if there's a vehicle at this house and there's a tractor in the barn, maybe I can get them to help pull me out of the spot that I'm in. So I knock on the door, the person answers and says, yeah, let me see if, you know, my dad can help. he's an older guy, but you know, he knows how to operate the tractor. And I said, okay, cool. So the old man comes out, and you know, he's an old guy. I felt bad that I had to bother him. And he says, can I help you? And I'm like, yeah, I got my car stuck in a ditch and I need it pulled out. And I seen that you got a tractor. Could you help pull me out? I said, I'll pay you back for fuel for the time of me bothering you. I'll pay you back for it. So he said, okay, well, let me go get the key. So he goes and gets the key, comes back. We go to the tractor, he starts it up. And as we're driving out towards the car, he says, I'm 80 years old. He goes, I've done a lot of things in my life. And I'm sitting there, and I told him, I said, I don't think you did the kind of thing I did. Especially the kind of thing I did. But I didn't tell him exactly what I did. I just left it as, I don't think you did what I did. I'm sure you did a lot of things, but I don't believe you did this. So anyways, as we're driving up to it, you can't see the car because it's rusted. It's in a brown field, so it blends in really well with the ground. And he's like, I don't see your vehicle. And I'm like, well, it's there. And then as we creep up on it, he sees it and he goes, I don't think my tractor's gonna get you out, son. And I'm like, oh, it'll get me out. It'll get me out. So I hook a chain up to it, and he gives me a slight tug, and the car comes out. And I said, I appreciate you helping me. I said, I really do. I said, I'm going to run back to town. I'm going to get some money out, and I'm going to give you your fuel money for the time that, you know, I'm going to go get you some fuel money. So I went back to town, kicking myself in the ass for doing a stupid thing like that. And I ran back to the bank, and I grabbed out $100, and I came back with, and I gave it to him. I said, this is for the time and fuel for helping me out. And he said, well, I appreciate it, but you didn't have to do that. And I said, well, I did because I bothered you. And I actually used to live back that way back in the day. Let's see if Oak Glen Winery is open today. Probably not. The last few times I drove by it, the gate was shut. But anyways, I paid him back, and I kicked myself in the ass for it, you know, for doing what I did. But that was the funny story I figured I'd share with you. I don't think I shared that story on any of my videos. I don't believe I did. But you know, the day after that happened, I went back and told my buddies at work about it. And my line leader at the time, he said, yeah, he goes, you know, you could have been really injured if that car had run over your ankle. And I said, yeah, I realize that now. So the gate is actually closed. They're not open. I've actually driven by here a few different times so far, and this gate's been closed. I figured maybe they actually might be open on just the weekends, but that's not the case. But yeah, he told me, he goes, you could have been injured. And I said, yeah, I realize that, but my vision worked out better than it actually happened. So if you all come out to Hermann, stop in at Oak Glen Winery. They have a very beautiful scenery of the river, overlooking the river. Oak Glen Winery, just outside of Hermann, Missouri. But anyways, it was definitely a moment in my life where if the video would have turned out the way I had hoped, I was going to add some Transformer music to it, and I was going to you know, show it off the way it was played off in my head. It would have been really cool if it were to work that way, but it never did. So here's a crazy story I'm also going to tell you. So there's a power pole just off that one right there, and there's a tree kind of next to it back there. There's a tree here, there's one in the middle, and then there's one on the far end. So there's 3 trees. The middle tree, remember that, the middle tree and that pole. So I was living down there in that pool house down there back in the day when I first moved, got my first place. That was a good place to start. But anyways, my first night staying here, it was probably, I don't know, might have been 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock in the morning, maybe 3 o'clock, easily. I was asleep, and I heard a big bang. I mean, a big bang. I don't even know why I tried to sound like a bang. It was a bad bang. I mean, it was loud. And of course, dogs were barking, you know, because it woke me up. And I'm like, what the heck, you know? So I checked out everything. Or at least I opened up the door, and, you know, the dog's barking. I was like, wonder what that could be. So anyways, I'm gonna turn the bike off here for a second. But anyways, the noise happened. I woke up, opened up the door, heard the dogs barking, kind of walked outside a little bit, didn't see anything, went back inside, went to sleep, or tried to go to sleep. But then I noticed after a little bit that there's some windows there. Down there, there's some windows right there. That was a kitchen area. I noticed that the kitchen was getting lit up. And when I looked out the window, I seen a cop car. And I thought, well, maybe he pulled somebody over, or maybe it got reported. Whatever the bang was, it got reported. The cop was taking notes or whatever. But then it got brighter in there. It got brighter after I went back to lay down. And when I noticed it got brighter, I looked out, and there was all different vehicles. There was different emergency vehicles over there where that power pole was. And what had happened was, so I had a 1985 Camaro T-top kind of sitting right in this area, right here. Say right there where my finger's pointing. It was sitting right there, kind of underneath of this deal, but it was sitting in the grass. I was trying to sell it. And so what had happened was, I didn't know about it till, well, I knew about it then because, you know, I was right there. But when I seen that the cops was up there, I walked up around back, came up there, and I noticed that electric pole was snapped in half. And there was a wrecked vehicle over there. I mean, it was mangled. But the person came down from that direction, cut through this grass, somehow missed that, but cut through the grass. There was just enough gap in between that pole right there and the thing there. But anyways, went through the grass and boom, hit the power pole, because there was marks all through the grass. There's actually some little orange flags over there. But he went right through that all the way to the power pole, snapped it in half. Car was mangled. And I'd say from where I'm standing to about where this tree is, I seen a white cloth seen a white cloth. So I knew that whoever was in the vehicle didn't make it. So I was this far away, standing over there, looking at the car and such. So anyways, that was my first night, because I noticed that it got pretty chilly in the house, after the electric goes off. So anyways, the electric went off, so it was getting cold inside the house. And but yeah, I was easily from here to that tree away from a white cloth, so I knew there was a body there. I didn't know the person till the next day that people were talking about it, and I was like, oh, that's who he was. And the sad thing is, now here's the thing. I was very heavily into a TV show that I watched called Dead Like Me. And I don't know if you've all ever seen that TV show, but it's called Dead Like Me. There's like 2 seasons of it. No, 2 seasons of it plus a movie. But anyways, I didn't have the fear of death. I didn't have a fear of death after watching that series. And so when I seen the body laying, at the time, my mind I wasn't worried. I had no, my thing was, what went through my mind at the moment was, a Grim Reaper took the soul before that happened somewhere. That's what I thought. I was not in the right kind of mind back in the day. But that's the show I was interested in, and so being that close, I wasn't worried. I knew there was something there that it didn't affect me, but I did care. Because when a person loses their life, it's not good. But I was also younger back in the day, and it's strange that very first night that happened. But it was because I was watching a TV show, and I just didn't have the fear of death in me. It's just how it was for me then. But the older I got, the more I realized, the more my mind changed over time. I still liked the TV show, but my mind changed over time, and yeah. So anyways, that went really dark pretty quick. But the rest of the story was the fact that, I tried making a video of my car driving by. By itself, and it didn't work out the way it was supposed to. Big hill. A big hill. So anyways, I'm making this video too long. I'm gonna end it here. I appreciate everyone. I just wanted to kind of share that story. Funny story. I wish I never did it, but I did. And the video that I had, I only shared it to the people I worked with, and it never seen the light of day on any other, I never uploaded it to Facebook, nothing. At the time, I didn't even really care for YouTube. I never even got onto YouTube back then. That was, it was just not on my mind then. But I shared the video with my friends, and really the only thing in that video that even came to light was, it showed me starting the phone, opening the door, stepping out of the car, hitting the ground, rolling, me trying to pick myself up, so the camera's everywhere but straight. You get just a little glimpse of the car teeter-tottering, and then I tossed my phone into the passenger seat, and it lands with the camera down, so you just get a black screen for the next 6 or 7 minutes while I'm cussing myself out. And that's pretty much the end of the video when I realized I needed to make a call and realized it was still recording. And yeah, so it really wasn't worth showing, but the reminder, if I would have saved that video, I still laugh at myself for that moment. I mean, it's a funny moment now because I didn't get hurt. But to think, you know, even then I thought, wow, that's pretty stupid that those people would get out of their cars and walk next to their car. That's crazy. And then my dumbass decided to try it. Well, yeah. Just goes to show how influenced I was. So, just because you think it's stupid at the beginning, if you really think about it, when you really think about it, it can be done the proper way. I did not do it the proper way. I didn't have a second person in the car with me. So, yeah, that was bad on my part. But like I said, that happened well over at least 10 years ago. Yeah, easily, maybe even 9 years ago. I just know it was a while back. It was crazy, but it was silly and in the moment. So I hope you all have a fantastic week ahead of you. Have a better weekend. I'm 87 Ricer. Those who have should give. Peace, love, and joy. Bye.